What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1
in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first.
And that is what All Might has done. He has asked, have you guys seen the new models that have been coming out for Slaanesh? Kind of centered around Age of Sigmar, but still useful in 40K. Yes.
Pleasures in store for you.
What do you think?
They look really sleek, very elfish. So very like they remind me of the Harlequins, especially the one with the mask.
Yeah.
And then the newest model, because we've talked about the other models, but the newest model, I don't know how I feel about the look yet. What do you think? Because it has like the hairs kind of like...
It reminded me of Magnus. Like it has similar features to Magnus.
Like elegant and very like,
regal looking.
Yeah.
I like it. I guess that's what they're going to do with Slaanesh now. Kind of make everything sleek and elegant.
It's actually really funny because I was just looking up to see if there was any type of alternative models for like D&D. Like I like the WizKids stuff, and right now what I'm using is like 40K stuff for D&D or Age of Sigmar. But I actually found a company, I think it's called Wrath of War or Wrath of Battle, something like that. It's another tabletop game, but the actual models for them are very Slaanesh-y, and it was making me think of Slaanesh. They're very like voluptuous and stuff, and you see GW kind of staying away from overly sexualizing the models. These models for the Wrath of War or whatever it's called, these models were very sexualized for this other game, but I mean these new Slaanesh models seem kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I don't have any regrets or like gripes about it yet, but I'm still waiting for like my model with like 6 boobs.
For that, you have to go Forge World.
Yeah, that's true. But they did release the Seekers of Slaanesh, and those, I think they have boobs.
Yeah. Next question.
Tomato of Doom. How is the re-rolling aura from some leaders, such as captains or lieutenants, realized in the fluff? Is it just explained as fighting more enthusiastic and eager side by your officers? Do they actually have some kind of magic or technology that boosts the troops?
No, I think it's just the fact that they're heroes and that they're like leaders, so you have that...
that presence.
Yeah.
When it comes to chaos, I feel it's more like fear. Like, oh, I better do good or else he's going to kill me. Same thing with like commissars and stuff.
Yeah.
But with Space Marines, it's like, oh, I've got to, I'm fighting side by side next to my captain, my lieutenant, my Lord Commander Dante, so that kind of thing.
And all these guys are legends too, so you have to think about that. It's kind of like I'm playing, like if you're in a sport or whatever, and it's like I'm playing basketball with this star, like it's going to make you want to try to do better.
Like, oh, I'm playing with Shaq. I got to make these free throws.
Next question comes from Kyle Hernandez. What type of food is grown, processed in agri-world crops meat, etc.?
Oh, like crops.
Oh,
meats.
okay.
Yeah.
So there is actually the species of lizard, or it's not even considered a lizard. It has reptilian features. It's called we've done a 40 facts on it.
Namasema Samamakusa.
Yeah, that. It's that. Check out our 40 facts on the food and drink of 40K. Grox.
Grox,
called
there
Grox,
you go.
yeah. So
I was
it's
thinking of like Gorks, but I'm like, no, that's not it.
it's basically it's the 40K's version of a cattle, except that it can kill you, whereas like the most dangerous cattle, well, I guess pigs can kind of kill you, right?
Yeah,
Bulls.
there's been stories of pigs eating people and killing them and stuff.
Yeah, but the Groks are extremely aggressive. We also have a 40 facts on the Groks, so check that out. Next question.
DeFool06. Does the group of crazy Tau lead to a civil war within the Tau and ultimately a splinter faction of the Tau? So the crazy Tau you're talking about are the ones that went into the warp due to the Starred Tide Nexus incident. It could possibly lead to that. There was a whole bunch of like rebellions and insurrections going on between those Tau and like Vespids and Kroot, to the point where the Kroot didn't want to work with the Tau at all. Obviously, ethereal control and diplomacy actions had to be instated. And because of that, now those Tau are secluded to their own regiment within the Tau ranks, and they can't be intermingled with other races that are part of the greater good. So kind of it already happened, but I don't think it'll happen to like a greater extent that'll like create a schism between the whole, like all the Tau and that little splinter that went into the war.
Yeah, also because there was already a splinter in the town, Farsight, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Nicholas and Zalone. If you know about Sonic the Hedgehog, then do you think the Chaos Gods would take control or corrupt the Chaos Emeralds?
So the Chaos Emeralds are like gems, kind of like the Infinity Stones that give boosts and power-ups, as far as I know. I'm not a Sonic expert, but I do know he gotta go fast, and those things help him go fast.
Who would be most likely to give him that ability?
Probably Zeech.
Yeah, Zeech. Or Slaanesh, perfection, right? Next question.
Your name is in a different style, so I can't read it. But he asks, who is the most popular porn star in the Imperium? Reading the comments, they say, the Eye of Terror, the Big E, your mom, the Sisters of Silence. I would have to say, well, he specifically stated the Imperium, so that kind of narrows it down.
Yeah, I would say Saint Celestine.
Ooh.
She has wings, and that's a fetish.
I'd have to go with Hitomi Tanaka.
I don't know what that is.
Remember that name for later.
Next.
Go back to this video. I'll make a timestamp.
Yeah. Next question comes from Noctis Lucius. How do you think the 3 high fleets of Tyranids would fare against the Great Crusade with the Emperor leading it? It'd be a good battle.
Mm-hmm. I feel it'll go the same way as it did with the Orcs, because the Orcs and Tyranids are kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. Especially because the Orcs kind of had home ground and they still lost. The Tyranids don't, so yeah. Next question comes from Juan G. Are there Skitarii snipers? Would you use them on the tabletop? Why or why not?
You play Skitarii.
Yeah, so the Skitarii already have this really cool... I mean, I'm going to give away my tactic, but there's within the Rangers, there is a weapon that you can take. It's that really long rifle. I forget what it's called.
It's got like the stand on it, right?
Yeah, it's like a special base and everything. But you can have 3 of those in a unit of 10. And that one, that is your sniper. So they do have them. And would I use it? Yes, because it's like a guaranteed warlord kill. Because it has a pretty good range. And I mean, it's your basic troop choice that can carry that weapon. So if you spam troop choices, or if you bring in your standard 3, you have 9 shots at the HQ, and the wounds are like ridiculous.
Also, you could just kill the other regular troops that don't have that gun. That way you could keep shooting the sniper, right?
Yep. It does kind of suck though, because it means that your troop choices has to stay
Static.
Fixed. Yeah. But whatever. Next question.
Henyo Matherly. Do you guys use miniatures for your D&D games? And if so, where do you get them and what do you use?
Yeah, we just talked about that. So, cool minis or not, I go to their little store, and they have like 3 different miniature games. There's a ton of tabletop games that come with really interesting looking like just models.
Mm-hmm.
I would say go to Cool Minis or not. I think it's just COM. What is it? Cool Minis.
CMON.
Yeah, there you go. .com, because that's the store, and then you could actually just scroll down and look at all the different tabletop. They have a Game of Thrones tabletop game where you can either do the Lannisters or the Starks. Perfect for D&D, because D&D is all about fantasy and stuff.
Yeah. The main characters that we use, like our own characters, we tend to get them from, what, Hero Forge?
Hero Forge, yeah.
Yeah, but for anything else, you could use whatever.
Pieces of paper.
Yeah. Pennies.
Penny.
But yeah, you could even use your 40K models.
One of our DMs, our Monday DM, he used dice once.
Did he?
Yeah, it takes away from the
immersion.
Yeah, he doesn't do a very good job of immersion. It's just a glass thing.
Yeah.
Next question. What you got?
Tyler Castillo. That means castle. The real question on everybody's mind: how many Care Bears would it take to defeat Lorgar?
Is it Demon Primarch Lorgar or 30k Lorgar? Because if it's 30k Lorgar, probably like 3. Because Lorgar and 30k got beat a lot.
Mm-hmm. He was like the
punching bag.
The punching bag, yeah.
He also dished it out, but
he
still.
did. He punked Horus, which everybody tends to forget.
Yeah. But if it's Demon Primarch, you have to get past that door because he's hidden in that little room of his. So all the Care Bears with pickpocket skills.
I used to watch the Care Bears show back in the day.
That's something I never got into.
You didn't care for them.
I didn't care for them. Next question.
Beating clowns. Question for Gersh. How the hell do you spell your name? And where did you get that from? It's cool as fuck, man.
It's you spell it Gursh.
Which you actually spelled it correctly.
Oh, cool. And then I got it from this guy.
Yeah, we were listening to Usher and eating Gushers. And I thought, oh, that represents this guy completely. That's his Holy Trinity, but it's only 2 things. So I'm like, I used to call him Gersher for a while, but that was too long. So eventually it got shortened to Gersh.
Yep.
Gersher.
Next question comes from Tom Peterson. What phones do you guys own? iPhone all the way.
Yeah, I've never had anything besides an iPhone. Well, no, I did. My first phone was like a really cheap, like, flip phone.
I tried Android for a while, but I just like the aesthetic of the iPhone. And I know that's a big thing. Like, people get crazy about, like, Android versus iPhone. And if you're one of those people, comment down in the comment section below. Next question.
Change our minds.
Yeah, change our minds.
Brian B. Is there any hope for the Imperium Nihilus?
Yes.
There's always hope.
Just because that's the way GW is going to progress the story, I feel. And bring in Fulgrim at some point.
They got to. I mean, they're putting all this Slaanesh stuff for AOS. They got to at least represent in 40K.
Gotta represent. Next question.
Malcolm Jeffries. What are your hype for the Siege of Terra novels? Love y'all's channels. Wow. That's what he says. So I have been listening to the author's interview or whatever that Warhammer TV has been putting out, and he's been talking about the Siege of Terra and everything that's going to go in there, and I'm hype. I feel like I should read everything before getting to it, like all the books and stuff from the Black Library, but who has time for that?
Yeah, you might as well just download Audible. Is it that series on Audible?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Next question comes from Beating Clowns. 3 parts, all 3 interlinking. So the first one is, why does the Big E need all those lesser psychers fed to him? Because he's dying, and that's how he feeds.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, does he really eat the mental abilities of all those brought before him? Not the mental abilities, the psychic abilities. And then I think the last one, is that why Gilliman said that the Big E was stronger now than he was before when meeting him again when he went to Terra? I believe that the reason that the Big E is more powerful, or the reason that he says that he's more powerful, is that people are worshiping him now. So that he exists not only on the Golden Throne, but he exists within the warp. And I think his presence in the warp that's holding back all those demons from flooding into Terra, it's kind of fueling him. The prayers are fueling him, and that's how he's been able to maintain. So that's why he's stronger, because people like pray to him.
Yeah, and also because of Lupe Fiasco and his army.
Army of the Light.
Kick, push.
And this is the last question. What do you got?
Brando Mascool. If a Tyranid eats, for example, a mutant human, like a Cyclops from X-Men, will the Tyranid be able to use the power? Please reply. I must know. Kind of. Like, because when they eat people, they turn that mass, that biomass, into a goop. And that goop gets put into these vats. And then these vats get sent back to, like, the hive. The hive. Nord Queen directly, or is it just to the hive?
No, it's to the hive. The Nord Queen is just like an off thingy.
And then that gets implemented into their DNA. So.
Yeah, they're actually the ones who say, like, okay, I like this DNA, let's use it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're always going to use it. They absorb orcs. That doesn't mean that they're going to, grow fungus. It all depends on the situation and what they think is going to work for the coming troubles or conflicts.
Like, the interesting thing, too, is that the Tyranids were fighting the Tau, and the Tau are using pulse weaponry. Obviously, the Tau bodies and biomass isn't made of pulse weaponry, but they were able to integrate what they were fighting against and create a new breed of Tyranid that was highly resistant to pulse weaponry. So that's another thing, too. Just because the physical makeup of whatever they're eating and digesting, it doesn't have a certain thing, doesn't mean they can adapt to that thing. They're a tricky race.
Yep. Those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Don't forget we have a Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you guys. And thank you.
This is the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out.